Hey everybody, it's Katie. There are 4 people that you need in the delivery room when that time comes. In today's video, we're going to talk about who those 4 people are and why they're important and why they made a world of difference for me when I birthed my 2 daughters. The very first person that I want to start with, and the most important in my mind, is my spouse. Now, I realize that sometimes the father of your child or that person is maybe not, it's not going to work for them to be there. And that's okay. If that person is not a safe person or an encouraging person or a calm person for you, don't worry about it. Don't have them there because that's what you need, is a safe and calm person. So I understand that if that's the case for you, you can just ignore this part. However, for me, my husband was going to obviously be the very first person when I was thinking about who's going to be in the room with me. My husband was going to be that person for a few reasons. One, and we've actually done a video about this, having the father of my child in the room, so we'll put a card up there so you can check that out. I'll go into a little bit more detail in that video. But there's 2 main reasons that I wanted to have him in the room when I delivered my girls. Number 1, and I'm not going to tell you which order of importance this is, but number 1 is, you put it there. Now you get to watch it come out and encourage me and rub my back. So, and then number 2 is also kind of related to that, but I really feel like it's important for fathers and husbands, because they're husbands until they witness that, and then they become fathers. Because unlike us, the minute we get pregnant, our lives change and we become mothers, because we have this expectation and this understanding that there's a baby coming and it's growing inside of us. Whereas for men, that it's not really a tangible thing for them. They can't feel it really. Well, I mean they can, but it's not growing inside of them. So for them, I think that truly many of them become fathers when they actually witness the birth of their child. So I think that it's important on a couple levels, but those are probably the 2 most important reasons in my opinion. Okay, so number 2, that is going to be a medical professional. Now, this could look like an OB at the hospital, or it could look like a midwife who will either attend you for a home birth at your house or potentially at a birth center. My first birth was with 2 midwives at a birth center, and then my second was intended to be with an OB at a hospital, but ended up being here at my house in my bathroom with my husband. That was an oops. Anyway, I would say that that is a fairly important thing to identify early on, which birthing style appeals to you the most. Who is going to be the most likely to help you achieve the birth that you want to have and that is most important to you? As I thought about it and researched it and I went on a hospital tour when I was pregnant with my first, I met a few OBs, and I realized that while I think that OBs are amazing people, and I actually loved the one that I had the second time around and would have been fine delivering with him, I realized that a midwife fit more into the way I envisioned my birth process, I guess. And so I went with a midwife the first time around. Loved it. It was an amazing experience. As I said, the second time I chose an OB because where we moved to, the only option was either a hospital or a home birth, and I wasn't quite ready for a home birth. So I would say early on, do your research, visit some hospitals, meet some OBs, and find out, and some midwives, and find out who feels most comfortable to your heart and to your soul, because ultimately they're going to be a very big part of this. And because when the time comes, it's an extremely vulnerable time, and you want to make sure that you have a good, trusting, comfortable relationship with whomever you choose. Number 3, the next person on the list of importance, I would say, in my personal opinion, is a doula. Now, a doula is someone, loosely translated, a doula is a mother's helper, essentially. And that's really what it is. The doula is there for you, and pretty much only you. They are typically women who have experience in giving birth themselves. They're typically mothers, usually, at least the doula, I have had 2 doulas. One was a woman who has had 8 children, and then the other one was a woman who hadn't had any children. They were both amazing, but typically doulas are women who have experienced birth or who have attended births and been around the block, so to speak, and so they kind of know what to expect. And when you start to kind of panic a little bit because what's happening, what's going on, they're there to reassure you. They're there to help you figure out positions that are going to ease your discomfort. They're there to hold your hair and rub your back, and basically they're there to fill the gap that exists. And this is just my personal opinion. I've had some comments about this, but they are there to fill the gap in the places where your husband might not know to do or know how to do. Because especially with a first birth, it's hard to know what you need, and it's hard to tell your husband what you need because you don't really know what you need until you're in that position. At least that was my experience anyway. So doulas are an additional cost, and unfortunately they are typically not covered by your insurance company. However, I would feel strongly enough to say that it's worth saving for and that it's worth doing. We put a lot of money into weddings and honeymoons and all that stuff. Well, the birth of your child is likely going to be a part of your memory for your entire life. And doulas can help that memory be a lot shinier and a lot better, in my opinion. Okay, and fourth and final person on the list is going to be kind of take your pick, whether it's your best friend, your mom, a female figure in your life who is super calm and encouraging, someone who brings you peace. So like I said, that could be your mom, or maybe it's not. Maybe your mom brings you the opposite of peace. If that's the case, don't let her be in the room. That's okay. It's called boundaries. But for me, it was my mom. And my dad was actually also he was in the birthing center when my first was born, and he was in the house when my second was born in the living room. So because for me, my parents bring me peace. And my mom, I wanted her to be there to witness it. But I realized that's maybe not the case for everybody. So do you have a friend who's had babies before and is super encouraging and like, you can do this, and very peaceful? Then consider having that person with you, or maybe an aunt, or maybe there's a woman in your life who you trust and you love, a grandma, someone who knows you well enough that you feel comfortable being vulnerable in front of them, but someone who is also very encouraging and not easily flustered, because birth is raw and it's vulnerable for a lot of people. I mean, of course for you, because you're usually naked and it's very intense, and so you want someone that you trust. And if you have a female figure in your life who does that for you, then I would encourage you to talk with your spouse and find out if it would be a good fit to have that person in the room, even if they do nothing but stay by your head and pray or tell you that you're amazing or that you're so close, or whatever. Because having that encouragement is it's huge. For me, it was the difference probably between having two really amazing experiences and maybe not having such a good experience, because I had the people in the room with me who were encouraging me and telling me I was doing a good job and praying over me and all that. So find that person of encouragement. If you know anybody who is pregnant or who is starting to think about this process, I would be honored if you would consider sharing this video with them, because I feel like the more we know walking into the birthing process, the more we're able to take hold of those pieces that we actually can control. I think for me, it made me feel a little bit better, because then I wasn't down to the wire trying to make decisions and feeling stressed, because stress is the enemy. So if you know anybody, I would be honored if you would share it. If you like the video, give it a like. And I'd also like to invite you to be a subscriber. If you click on the subscribe button, then you will be a part of the KT Files family. And also if you click on the little bell icon, that's the notifications, then you'll get notified when we do new videos, which is every week. We have all kinds of topics. We talk a lot about families and kids and babies and nursing and all kinds of stuff. So we would love to have you join us in our KT Files family. And last but not least, we have a Facebook page. So if you are on Facebook and you'd like to check us out, we post daily content. Sometimes I talk about all my awesome mom fails. Sometimes not, otherwise that would be all that we would talk about. But anyways, we would love to have you join us in that area. So I hope you are all having an amazing day. Thanks so much for watching, and hopefully we'll see you next week. Bye.